NXT Halloween Havoc 2025 is officially in the books. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Denise Salcedo. Let's dive right in. We're going to kick things off with probably the most unexpected surprise of the day, and that was Tatum Paxley defeating Jacy Jayne for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, I have been saying during all of my predictions heading into Halloween Havoc, I kept saying, I swear I keep predicting Jacy Jayne's reign completely wrong. Every time I think she's going to finally lose the title, she retains. Every time I think she's going to retain, well, now she lost. I went into Halloween Havoc expecting that Jacy Jayne would retain. And it wasn't anything against Tatum Paxley. It's just that I didn't feel that they had really propped up Tatum Paxley to make you think that that title was going to be her. Like, she finally started getting a focal point in this story with the culling. So I didn't think that was going to be like it, right? But what I've started to notice with NXT, though, is that they've started to do these sort of unpredictable title changes for the women's division. And they kind of did that in the past before, like here and there, but it wasn't something that you saw very often. Like, it came as a surprise to us when Jacy Jayne defeated Stephanie. We all thought, hey, who's going to be next champions? Jordynne Grace, Blake Monroe. We were kind of thinking in that department, but then they kind of surprised us, and they went with Jacy Jayne, right? So now with Tatum Paxley, I'm just thinking, oh shit, like, I thought if anybody was going to defeat Jacy Jayne in recent matches, I actually thought that was going to be Lola Vice. I thought Lola was going to be the one to defeat Jacy because Lola has been featured a lot more than Tatum Paxley. She's had more storylines on NXT. She's gotten increasingly popular. She's pretty much like, she's got a good sized fan base. She's known, all of that, right? And Tatum necessarily doesn't have that just yet. But I will say this, though. Everybody knows who watches my NXT review shows on Tuesdays know that I love Tatum Paxley. But even though I love Tatum Paxley, I still wasn't expecting her to win at Halloween Havoc. But now that I'm seeing like what they're doing and where this is headed, it's starting to make a little bit of sense. So let's kind of break this down. Because again, there are people that you expected to be NXT Women's Champion who have not been NXT Women's Champion. I mentioned Jordynne. I mentioned Blake. I'm going to mention, people like Jada Parker, Lola Vice. These are all girls that have been hustling, right? You've been expecting to see them be champion, and it hasn't happened. However, it looks that instead, with Tatum Paxley, the thing that people love about Tatum is, I always say this about her, she leaves you wanting more. You always want to see what else is in there. Like, we know this girl does a badass 450. But all right, we love that she plays with her dolls. She's sweet. She's got this great look. I love her little gothic vibe that she's got going, but also is like cutesy and sensitive and nice and all of that, right? She's everything nice wrapped in a sugar cookie, except that she's got a spooky look. But anyways, so that's what I love about Tatum. And the crowd was hot for her. They had a great match with her and Jacy Jayne. I love the amount of time that they got for this match. I thought both women got to show that Jacy got to show that she did great as a champion. She was a great heel champion, even though her victory came as a surprise to us. She lasted longer as champion than most of us thought she would. And then as for Tatum Paxley, again, people weren't expecting it, but they were behind her because they do like her. So now what they're doing, though, is during this match, you had Izzy Dame get in there, and she looked like she was about to hit Tatum Paxley with the championship belt, but she didn't end up doing it because Tatum ducked. She ended up getting Jacy Jayne instead. But I think we all know that that was actually meant for Tatum Paxley. Like, that was not meant for Jacy Jayne. So when you kind of zoom out of this picture and what you're seeing, it's clear that the end goal, I think, what I'm seeing right now is to continue building Izzy as a stronger heel on the women's division. So they're kind of giving the focal point right now to some of the women that haven't had that focal point on NXT. And Izzy Dame, while she's been here and there on the show, she hasn't been presented as largely as some of the other women, but she's still been on the show. So I think what they're going to do now, it's clear that Tatum Paxley is going to kind of be a little bit blindsided to Izzy Dame's actions. I don't think Izzy Dames has the best intention in Tatum Paxley. It's been clear like this for a while, where they kind of they don't treat her fair and square. It's a little weird, the friendship that they got going, because the Colleen is like a cult, so they're weird as it is, right? We don't like them. But Izzy Dame is most likely going to be defeating Tatum Paxley at some point to get the title on her, and I think they're going to start building Izzy Dame as a strong heel on the NXT women's side. So that's what I'm sensing where this is all going, and that's the story that I think they're going to be telling for the next few months. And as for Tatum Paxley, well, let's enjoy the ride, because like she said at the end of the show, things are about to get crazy. Now, the next topic that I want to get into with NXT is Javon Evans and Leon Slater versus Mr. Iguana and La Parka. So with this one here, this is exactly what I thought this match was going to be. This was my match of the night. I loved this match because they did so good together. Like, I particularly loved seeing Leon Slater and Mr. Iguana work together. I thought several sequences that they did were so much fun to watch. That was personally my favorite. I also like seeing Javon Evans kind of do his thing with La Parka, because he was also trying to get into, like, doing the little dances that La Parka does. So that was kind of fun. But overall, like, this match was everything that you wanted. It had the high flying, it had the comedy. It was what we expected. And of course, Javon and Leon get the W, with Leon pinning Mr. Iguana. So I thought that was great too, that they also gave it to the pin to the guy that isn't the WWE wrestler. He's the TNA wrestler, but he's also X Division champion, and he's a great performer. But now we know, because of another match that we saw on today's show on Halloween Havoc, was that Dark State ended up defeating the Hardy Boys. And everyone here who watches my weekly shows knows that I hate Dark State, okay? I hate Dark State. I'm not a fan. I hate them. But let's just be real. This was the best match that they've had on NXT, and I got to give props where props are due, because that's the thing about me, is that even if I'm not a fan, if you do a good enough job, you got to get the kudos that you deserve. And so I got to give Dark State kudos. Yes, it hurts to say. I feel dizzy. Somebody prop me up. Anyway, so they get the win over the Hardys. Okay. Whatever. And instantly, the moment that they won, I thought to myself, all right, we're going to Leon and Javon, because Leon and Javon have proven that they are an awesome tag team together. And they had a backstage segment afterwards where they said they're going to go for the titles. So I think Leon and Javon are going to take those titles away from Dark State. Makes sense. They ruined a great match. They're a-holes. They're heels, all of that. So let's get them in there with Javon and Leon. Let's have them defeat them. And I think that they are going to become tag team champions, obviously. So they're going to become tag team champions. They're going to kick ass on NXT. But I do think that the cool thing about them, specifically about Leon and Javon being NXT tag team champions when it happens, is that these guys, they're not just going to be there on NXT. I firmly believe that we're going to see these guys appear more on SmackDown, maybe wrestle with some of the SmackDown tag teams, because we've been talking a whole lot on the Friday night SmackDown post shows, how the SmackDown tag team division, well, there's a lot of talent in that division, but it does get a little bit kind of dull sometimes. So I do think that teams like that, like Leon and Javon, would lighten things up if they got to have a couple of matches here and there. Can you imagine them versus, Fractium on the show, or versus the Street Profits? Things like that are things that I'm interested in. So that's kind of like the long term. So even though I got to give Dark State kudos for the match with the Hardy Boys, the long term plan here is what I'm most interested in. So hopefully I'm right on that, and that's what we end up seeing. And I feel like I am. I feel like it's pretty obvious, because I don't think that they're they didn't want Javon and Leon to defeat the Hardys, because the Hardys are loved and so are Javon and Leon. Can it be them defeating the Hardys? It has to be them defeating Dark State. So I'm cool with it. All right. I'm cool with it. Now, so shout out to them. But this takes me now over to Ethan Page and El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. So this match was not bad at all, guys. They had a Day of the Dead match for the NXT North American Championship. I thought they did great. I think that Ethan Page has great chemistry with El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. The only criticism that I honestly had about this match was that I don't like when they dim the lights down. That's really my only criticism. I thought it took away from the match, and I get it. They were trying to make it spooky, Day of the Dead. I get it. I'm not stupid, but I feel like they could just never get the lights right. It's always too dark in certain sections, and for me, it distracts me. Like, I'm sorry, I get easily distracted around here. I start looking around, looking in other places, because you got to have me like right there as the focal point. Like, shine the light right on them so that I can see them. If not, I start looking around, I get distracted, all of that. I don't like that. So that was my only critique, but regardless, I thought they fought hard. I thought Ethan Page, I thought he looked great. I'm telling you, like, his best matches that I've seen of Page on NXT have been the one that he did at Worlds Collide, the 4-way, and then this one here at Halloween Havoc. So, hey, there's something there. It's getting better. So shout out to them. Also, I do want to say shout out to El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. He's somebody that I'm a fan of. I think he's great. One of the things that I think is awesome about him is that he went and when you are the son of Dr. Wagner, like you don't have to try that hard, right? Like you can kind of probably get by, right? Like you can get bookings with your dad and get by, right? But he went the extra mile, was at Pro Wrestling Noah for a couple of years and worked hard, man, to become a better wrestler, to become a better worker. And it's definitely showing. So shout out to him, man. I thought he did kick ass in this match. Part of me kind of wished he'd won, but I knew that wasn't going to happen. I knew it wasn't going to happen. Even when I predicted that it would happen, I knew it wasn't going to happen. But still, good match there across the board. So I did like that. Blake Monroe and Zarya. Blake Monroe has officially defeated Zarya for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Pretty much, I think, what everyone expected here. I didn't think the match was that great. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't a PLE match for sure. It was just a fine matchup there. I thought Zarya did get some moments to shine. So did Blake Monroe, but I just wasn't really feeling this match, and I think it was because I was so excited to see Blake Monroe versus Soruka that I felt super kind of like let down when I realized I wasn't going to be seeing that matchup. But now Zarya lost Soruka's title, so at some point that's going to continue the friction there between them. Ricky Saints and Trick Williams, hey yo, they had a main event match. A main event match. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, this wasn't just a main event. This was a main event. I do want to shout them both out because I thought they both did exactly what they needed to do. Ricky Saints needed to cement himself as that guy that should be NXT champion. I thought he did so in his performance today. And Trick Williams has been looking like a whole new man for a while now, in particular following his TNA championship run. So I thought that Trick Williams looked confident out there. I loved the duration of the match. I thought they got a good amount of time in there to get as much done possible. So they won me over, man. These were two main event guys, and it felt legit in this matchup. So for me, I thought that the main event killed it. And I really loved, just every other match was fine. Like everything was good on this show. But my match of the night, as I mentioned earlier, was Javon and Leon versus Mr. Iguana and La Parka. But hey, that's where we're at, guys. Let me know what you guys thought about NXT Halloween Havoc. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick review. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more daily pro wrestling content. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Oh, and before I forget, don't forget to check out our sponsor, Momentous. Plenty of companies claim to be the best, but few can back it up. Momentous is trusted by every NFL team and elite performers because they actually deliver on the quality and the results they promise. Like all their products, their creatine is built on transparency, backed by science, and held to the Momentous standard. Creatine isn't just for muscle gains, it's essential daily fuel for your brain, body, and long-term performance. Every batch is independently tested for purity, safety, and label accuracy, and NSF certified for sport. That's why it's trusted by Olympic teams, pro athletes, and even the U.S. military. With Momentous, the fundamentals are done right. Right now, Momentous is offering our listeners up to 35% off your first subscription order with promo code INSTINCT. Go to livemomentous.com and use the promo code INSTINCT for up to 35% off your first subscription order. That's livemomentous.com, promo code INSTINCT. All right, bye everybody.